Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. We go early to recap week 11.
11, yeah.
So recap week 11 because I have work commitments the next 2 days that are just going to completely ruin my life. And so for those reasons, let's talk about what happened on Sunday, Andy. Any thoughts, any closing thoughts on our brilliant pick for Thursday Night Football's halftime, second half Eagles? That was Saquon Barkley did the greatest offseason signing of any team. Like just we all saw it coming. Eagles are amazing. Commanders quietly the biggest losers of today, I think. Seahawks win, Rams win, Packers win. Like Niners lose.
With the Seahawks, Niners, Seahawks is probably the better result for them. I'd be more worried about the Niners long term.
Okay.
And now it's those teams are still a full 2 games back. All 3 5-5 teams. They're game and a half, I guess. 7-4, I believe. The Commanders are now. Not a lot to say, but yeah, the Saquon doing his best Derrick Henry impression where he'll wear you down, and once he wears you down, it's gonna be something. And just romped on them late in the game. That's
what I credit the.
I want to say that score wasn't as close. It was closer than it looked. But I mean, the Eagles were so successmo in general, except for scoring early in the game.
Yeah.
I think it was probably a pretty apt score.
Oh, 100%. And you know what I credit the success to? Them finally calling some running plays that were
outside runs. Yeah,
outside.
They called some good runs. I mean, and they were tired of tackling his ass too.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Eagles are in prime position to take the 2 seed. The Lions don't seem inclined at all to give up the 1. Holy shit! Anyway, Sunday's games.
Probably, I'm not even going to do rotation order. I'm just going to do them as I got them listed here. Green Bay,
do them as you feel
Chicago.
Yeah.
I think that might be first in the rotation anyway. Green Bay, Chicago turned into kind of a good win. It was kind of a good one
Packers.
In a shitty way.
Okay. I thought it was a lucky win by the Packers. Obviously, the missed field goal at the end was hugely consequential. And ultimately, the fact that the Bears were kind of fighting and covering for most of the game. Good for anyone who backed the Bears. Yeah, I mean, this was good. These are the kind of games you need to win if you're the Packers and you're going to try to claw your way back into a wild card spot.
Yeah, the all-time you bet a shitty look-ahead ticket, but it got there anyway with Bears +3.
Ooh, nice job by you.
Pretty. Actually, truthfully, was pretty much covering the whole game. I was a little worried that Green Bay was just going to turn it on. It looked like they did several times. And yeah, it's crazy that we've had 2 endings like this in a couple weeks now where it's, these aren't chip shots, but they're not like long field goals where it's just blank blocked, fun, very fun ending. Green Bay probably a little fortuitous. Jair Alexander was injured. He was coming in injured. And then they're like, oh, he's good to go. And then right away, he just re-aggravated whatever's wrong with his knee. He was on the bench immediately. Like he barely played. I'm gonna have to go look for a snap count. That probably matters going forward. And then Ryan Bates for the Bears was knocked out with a concussion. The Bears obviously have been very good about concussions, so not worried about him at all. He's probably not going to lose a whole season like Jaquan Brisker. Bears probably still dead for a wild card. Not probably. I mean, it's just they have way too many teams. They have to leapfrog the entire NFC West. Probably not happening. Green Bay, big for their playoffs, obviously.
Thoughts on Chicago's new offensive vision? Old boss, same as the new boss.
Yeah, I don't know.
New boss, same as the old boss. Whatever.
Did they get a little bump? I mean, did you think they looked a little livelier? It didn't really feel like that.
Not really. Yeah, it's still stuck in mud.
They were good on third downs, but I mean, it was kind of it. They were good on some high leverage spots there. Green Bay's defense is probably a little more of an issue here because they shouldn't give up almost 400 yards to the Bears offense. It's currently rostered with that offensive line. They only got, I think.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, they did get to Caleb 3 times. Fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, that's still that's lack of pressure. What happened to the Chiefs? They stalled on their drive.
Yeah, couldn't even get the
It's over.
teaser home.
Game over.
Annoying. It is game over. They threw an interception on 4th and 13. Next one up. Lions beating the ever-living shit out of the Jags. There was some. I feel like there was a little bit of buyback on the 14 this morning. I don't know if that was Laporta. Like, I don't know if they can do it without Laporta. There was some like 12.5s in the market, I think. Not that there's some massive difference, especially when the game is, well, either they score 50 points or they do. Dougie P, I've heard it from a million people.
You're squashing on my key question for the game. Did Peterson do enough to save his job?
It felt bad because, like, what are you going to do here? Your defense is beat up. You're starting Mac Jones. Like, it's what people are joking. Like, could we fire him at halftime? Like, could he just leave at halftime? Could he just? We've all done that when we were younger. When you had some shitty job at like Domino's, and you're just
who is the Colts?
I'm leaving.
Who is the Colts cornerback who retired at halftime against the Bills? You remember?
We bring him up, and I never can remember his name.
Was it Vontae Davis?
That sounds right.
Vontae Davis retired at halftime. If it was not Vontae Davis, and we are tarnishing his name, apologies to the Davis family.
645 total yards by the Lions, which feels a little mean. Going for it,
they couldn't get to 7. They couldn't get to 7. No. Oh. Boo.
Lions broke a few records here. 8th most yards by a team ever, thanks to
my God.
Chat. Yeah, that is a shitload of yards. Congrats if you had the over. Lions got there themselves. Not a lot to take away from here. They not a stranglehold, but a pretty strong hold on the 1 seed. And the Jags
and
probably.
And then
Schefter said Mike McCoy. It was a name that was bandied around for interim. I don't think it matters.
Who?
Remember Mike? You remember he's been a head
Mike
coach.
McCoy. Yeah, I remember Mike McCoy. I had no idea he was connected to the Jags staff. Is he on the staff?
He's the quarterbacks coach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm trying to think when he was head coach of the Chargers.
We're not going to hand over
2016.
We're not going to go back to Press Taylor calling plays. Maybe that'll work.
They'll probably still will, but they'll have this. They'll have him as the head coach. Although he was an offensive coordinator too. Maybe he will head coach call plays, full-ass interim. Staying in the division, we've only done NFC North teams. Only done NFC North teams so far. The Vikings, I don't want to say eke it out. They eke out the cover, I guess. That was a little sketchy. If I laid the 6 with them, once I looked at everything this morning, I'm like, this is dumb. This should be 8. Vikings were not good on 3rd down. Darnold had I don't know if it was a bad pitch or not. Maybe that was on Aaron Jones. What sucks with quarterbacks is if there's a turnover on a handoff or a pitch, it's always given to the quarterback as a stat. So that they get extra fumbles that way when you don't have your arms in the right spot. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one?
No. Missed extra point from Romo. Cost the team total from getting home. It was a push on 23. It was a loss if you played 23.5. Sorry.
Some people
should
had
have 24. Okay, well, those are winners. I will say the Vikings could have won by more if they felt like it. I have nothing about what the Titans did was impressive or inspiring at all. This is a team that looks like they're trying to lose. I don't know. I don't know how else to parse this one.
Levis was better in spots, but again, he's just not. He doesn't have a ceiling that's anywhere near where you need it to be. They got to the red zone once, weren't able to convert. The interception late was, kind of maybe the difference in the cover. Actually, this was an under I played as well 2 weeks ago. I'm not so sure that should have gotten there. Yeah, it did, but there was 600 yards. I'm not so sure that was a good bet. Minnesota.
You know what it sounds like you're describing? A Titans game.
Yeah, I know that was my
that
thing.
got there that doesn't feel like it should have.
I wasn't in love with Snead being out for that. But Snead being out definitely helps Sam Darnold and the boys. Sam was okay. 20 for 32,
Vikings.
246, a couple touchdowns.
Vikings have a chokehold on the 5 seed.
It's crazy because the loss to Detroit straight up is very bad.
Yep.
Next one, Dolphins, Raiders. Dolphins cover. The over gets there. This is a teaser leg I used. Not a lot to say about what I thought of Scott Turner's new offense. I kind of want to rewatch this and the Bears game. I didn't pay as much attention to this. Just to see that if there were
Bears you need to rewatch. This one, no.
Well, I want to see the coordinator stuff. I just didn't pay a ton of attention to when the Raiders had the ball because they moved the ball a couple times. They were actually moving at this Miami defense a little. Yeah.
There was a good portion of the game where I was kind of like, oh, maybe I upgraded the Miami defense too much off of 1 week. But
that's where I was.
Yeah, but ultimately, no, I mean, I don't know. No comment on this game.
Raiders were 1 for 3 in the red zone. That's probably what, I don't know, if you laid the 7.5 here, it's probably what got you home. There was just the one turnover, the interception by Minshew. Bowers was a beast, man.
I was going to say, who had a nice day is Mr. Brock Bowers. Is he closing the gap on Daniels for Rookie of the Year? I don't think so, but maybe.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to set tight end marks all across the board he might double up tight end marks. Has he already broken the tight end receptions record?
We had this argument preseason when Kyle Pitts got drafted. People wanted to say, what if he has a 1,200 yard, as a tight end as a rookie? And the answer was still the same. It doesn't matter if there's a good quarterback.
Right.
They can give it to a wide receiver. They can give it to a running back. A tight end just feels so difficult. He has to have this season. He's doing his part. He can't have a playoff team quarterback. He can't have.
You're saying the match is on Daniel's racket.
Yeah, he's doing his part. Bowers is, but if you end up with a playoff team and such a cursed franchise and turnaround and all that, it's really hard to get over the narratives, the stats, the wins.
Did he not break the receptions and yardage record for a rookie tight end today? He had to have.
I have no idea what those records are.
I don't either.
13 for 126? I don't know. I'm going to have to dig into that.
I think he probably broke the single game and the single season record for rookie tight ends today. I think. He's up. He's already got 1,000 yards receiving, doesn't he?
It feels like they used to use tight ends so much back in the. I bet there's some Kellen Winslow Sr. where it's he had 15 catches for 18 yards.
Maybe.
I wonder, this hurts him. I think this hurts him. If you look at a picture of him, he looks 45 years old. He's not my rookie.
That's a fair point. That man's not a rookie. That man is not.
Yeah, I'm voting for the guy I just seen walk out of a VFW.
Yeah, right. Jaden Daniels can't even get a legal drink in DC, but Brock Bowers, a million years old. Actually, Daniels is old too. Drake May is the young one, right?
Yeah, it was Penix and Nix and May. They had some. May is young. Yeah. Penix, Nix, and Daniels.
Nix and Daniels are all old as shit because they've transferred all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right, whatever. Anyway.
All right, yeah, the Raiders lost. Their defense just couldn't.
That's a good thing for them as a franchise. So
it was good for them. They're 2-8. The Dolphins still maybe in the outside mix, but the Broncos
definitely somebody's got to get the 7th seed. Broncos are in it now, but.
That's the thing. The Broncos are only 6-5 or 7-5 now. 6-5 they'd be. All right, next one up is Rams 28, Patriots 22. Speaking of
easy
Drake
cover
May,
for the Ramathorns. Not.
There were. Look at this. Ditka is your rookie receiving yards. I'm guessing they played 12 or 14 games back then. Doesn't matter.
Shit.
We don't seem to care about that, but that's a lot.
Wow. He had 1,000-yard season as a rookie in 61. I'm impressed.
That's
amazing.
It's like 26 teams, 14 games. Man,
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
If you adjust for inflation, that's like a 2,000-yard season.
It kind of is. It's massive. It's like and I hate to get off track because we have to hurry today, but it's like the tweets after OJ died, the one that just got me. He's like, I was too young. I didn't remember OJ. He's like, I'm just doing my research. I can't believe what I'm finding on the internet. He ran for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season.
Yeah. I can't believe this. Can't believe this. Is this real?
Yeah. Maybe not the easiest cover. The defense for the Rams is hit and miss. If the pressure's getting home and getting home good, they're stopping. But Drake May did a good job with the pressure at times. He had some big-time throws. Early on, rolling out, he's getting a lot more comfortable. He just has such a shitty team around him. One of his touchdown passes was to a left tackle that's been injured half the season. Like, this is one of the receivers we have to scheme open at this point. Puka and Kupp were just too much. Kupp's catches
They're gnarly.
awesome.
Yeah, they were gnarly.
It was a good Stafford game, especially. This is basically, and I know it wasn't that cold, but this is basically his first like outdoor not nice weather game. Like this was it for the Rams. They had to go up to New England where it was like 49 degrees.
This was a brutal spot for the Rams. Off of Monday Night Football,
long travel
time
spot
across this country and play in the early window. Terrible spot for the Rams. The fact they covered, I think, tells you something about the Rams. But yeah, good job.
Did go
good
over.
Job, Ram. Good job, Rammies.
Good job. Saints 35.
Oh God.
Cleveland Browns 14.
Do we have to talk about this game?
There was a lot of Browns love in the market. Almost enough. This was one of those where it's like, man, if this gets to 3, I feel like I have to take the fucking Saints at some point because they're not dead. I mean, they kind of are, but it was so hard to do that with all right, we're coming down off the Rizzy bump. The Riz bump is gone, probably. I mean, who saw like Taysom Hill Hall of Fame game coming?
I did not.
I mean, I was going to say I started him in fantasy, but I always start him in fantasy because he's my boy. He's my boy, and I just don't have any other quarterbacks for a 2-quarterback league.
Got
it. The thing was the Browns had like 450 yards here too.
I know. This is really a tough one to parse, honestly. The Browns almost felt like
3 for 13 on third down. They didn't make the most of their drives. They gave up too many big plays.
Do you know what's going on with the fact that they don't have a kicker? Because like I didn't understand what was going on there. Guy missed a freaking 30-yarder at the end of the first half. Like I know he missed a 50-yarder earlier, but like the kicker is kind of having just complete and total checkout. We didn't even mention the good kicker for the Eagles. Elliott had a freaking checkout on Thursday. Like the kickers having checkouts has been bizarre. Do you think they're fucking with the ball because there's been so many 50-yard field goals made?
I don't know. It's very inconsistent. Like Koo made some long kicks. Koo looked really good today, but then Koo couldn't hit the broadside of the barn with anything the other day. There's just like they have these bad days.
It's weird.
And obviously, like the Minnesota kicker, he was hurt. He went to IR. It's weird. This is one I want to rewatch too, and I don't know that I'm going to enjoy it. But I have to figure out like what happened for. I guess it's the 1 for 3 on fourth down. You gave it up on downs a couple times when you're down. 3 for 13 on third down is not great, but they had so many yards just in one red zone trip somehow.
Yeah, it was mostly explosive, boom or bust type of stuff, but
they didn't turn the ball over.
Their defense has kind of turned into like just shoot for explosives against us, and you'll eventually get them.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to double check on Denzel Ward. He was hurt on that. There was a fumble. He dove it on.
Yeah,
he matters a ton. On the Saints side, Eric McCoy, center. He pulled his groin, tried to return, couldn't. Pete Werner played with a broken hand, said, club me up. Put me in a club. I'm fine. I'm going. And then DeJuan Jones.
We be clubbing.
DeJuan Jones was stepping in for Wills. who was missing, and then he left on a cart with an air cast. So they're down a couple tackles again. 2-8. Time to pack it in Cleveland Town. The Saints 4-7, but Dennis Allen won his first 2 games as a Saints coach this year too. So I don't know if we should get too excited. although it's just Marquez Valdez Scantling. Every week he's good for like one long one, I guess.
So you're telling me that Saints coaches are undefeated in their first 2 starts and haven't won a game in any other start?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do with that.
Look at the schedule for next week. We'll have to figure that out. My Indianapolis Colts. I was so worried the Colts.
Oh my God!
Comparing the Colts,
I thought
game
they were
to
going
the Tennessee game from week 1.
I was getting so mad watching this game. Go ahead.
Do you remember the Colt or the Tennessee Bears game?
Yes.
That's what I'm like. It's the same thing. I've seen this movie.
Yes.
Every time they'd get the ball back, suddenly
I was getting
it's 3rd
so
and
mad.
18.
I was getting so mad.
And not just for us gamblers who had +4, but for the Colts, who aren't that far out of the playoff picture themselves. Honestly, they're 5-6. In fact, they're
the 7th seed.
They're the 8th seed right now.
8th seed.
So they're a full game behind the Broncos, but they're right there. This was a massive win for them. That was a huge drive by Richardson at the end. Like it would have been the best drive if Geno didn't exist.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah. In general, though, I thought Richardson looked good. Like he looked much more composed than some of the starts we saw earlier in the season from him. And I don't know if it was the benching that begot that, but I felt it.
I don't know. You ever like fuck off at work and then get yelled at about it? Like I guess if you care about that job, you make sure you don't do that anymore. If you get yelled at, even out of ignorance, like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to, make copies of my ass on the.
You get out there and you do that fucking job.
So because it's still the Panthers and they're not going to win games for the most part, but they did a little bit. And after he got benched, we saw something out of Bryce. Maybe there is something to this. Hey, he just needed a timeout because they were pretty efficient at times, and he looked really good when it mattered late.
Well, I mean, the paradigm definitely shifts when it's like, you must succeed because you're the future to, well, now if we get anything out of you, it's a bonus. Like that's a very different paradigm.
He didn't tap out today, Patrick. That was good.
Yeah, nice job by Mr. Richardson. All right, let's keep moving.
Good job, Colts.
Good job,
points.
Colts.
Steelers.
Yeah, good job, Colts.
The second time.
Your morning game calls were fucking gnarly. Nice, good calls. Like, did you have any losers before lunchtime?
No, we were perfect. We were perfect.
Coasting.
That part of the season. Well, I had on look ahead. I had the Rams over as well.
Oof.
Which
bang,
moved up a little.
So
that was kind of based on like New England needs to score, and New England scored.
I love it, man. Nice job.
New England. Steelers 18, Ravens 16. Second time the Steelers would win a game this season against a good offense by not scoring any touchdowns. This is an ugly box score. If you had not watched this game, you would not want to look at this. This is a 6.1 yards per play to 4.1 for the Ravens. Yeah. More yardage, more yards per play, more yards per pass, more yards per run, 6.5 yards per rush. Yeah. The penalties were bad. There was about 20 accepted penalties in this game. It was the turnovers. Obviously, you get to the bottom, you say, "Oh, they turned the ball over too much." Yeah. Pretty much.
That and I mean, the penalties is because like there's no love lost. Like when these teams get together, Andy, you throw out the records.
I'm glad that this and the Bears game are close games. They deserve to be close games.
Of course, these teams know each other very well.
The people who aren't maybe betting on these. It's fun that these were good games because they're massive rivalry games.
Yeah.
No love lost. The Steelers are 8-2.
You know what I see when I look at this box score? Just
turnovers.
Voodoo. How in the fuck are the Steelers 8-2?
I know Vikings and Steelers being 8-2. Are they both over their win total?
Steelers
Steelers would have been
8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, one more win in there.
Throw out the records, throw out the history books. No love lost.
Records. Hey, you know what else? You know what else, Andy? Not just making a win total, but
guaranteeing
Mike Tomlin getting him win number 9 would make him at least 500 for the year. I gotta tell you though, what a coaching job by Mr. Tomlin.
You know what? A couple. I'm not even. I'm not going to name names because these are smart people that have had a lot of good takes this year and many years. But at least 2 different people that I respect said, this is it. This is the year that the streak ends. And
I thought that for sure.
And I'm like, that's a good take.
I bet them most losses or fewest wins or whatever. I thought this offense was going to be garbage, and they're fine.
Yeah,
I have no.
And words. It's better with Russ. I would say that
it's better with Russ. Yeah.
And you know what? The Steelers were 0 for 4 in the red zone. And that's what happens when you get up against a good rushing defense in tight corners.
Yeah, right.
Like that's still going to be tough.
That's what happens when you're up against a good rushing defense and your only pass plays are 40-yard drop balls in the moon balls. 40-yard moon balls, right.
Harrison
turns out
Warren
it's tough to score
good.
Inside the 20.
Yeah. I mean, they actually had a decent running day, but not in the red zone. So Steelers probably. And we still have 7 games to go, but looking pretty good to win this division at this point. Ravens are going to be the most annoying wild card team you could possibly face. Like, oh, good, we won our division. Oh, we're 4-point underdogs at home. What happened?
That seems like Houston's future, right?
What would you Houston hosting Baltimore right now? What do you make that? Just rough back of the envelope.
Baltimore -2.5.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were going to say that, but yeah, Baltimore.
No, I mean that's probably pretty close, right?
Yeah, Baltimore 2.5.
That's annoying if you are Houston in that case. My numbers say 1.
Houston doesn't deserve that home game over Baltimore.
It's fair.
I guess they beat Baltimore head-to-head, so maybe they do. I got to think about that, but Baltimore is a much better team. But anyway. Yeah, fucking Baltimore continuing to shoot themselves in the dick in Pittsburgh is a very weird subplot of the NFL.
Oh, let's see. The other hate fucking today was the Broncos. This is where Andy got so cute. So I got so cute with this one.
Oh, you played the
bet. The bet was the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos.
But I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I said I want to put a prop in the newsletter too, so I'm not going to put prop. I'm going to put this rookie running backs.
What?
It's like they wanted him to be the lead back, and then apparently I misunderstood the quotes because he was not the lead back. He got like the 4th quarter carries, didn't get there. If you bet, I mean, if you
honestly,
said
the game broke in favor of that though.
I know. It still didn't work.
It still didn't get there.
So hopefully some people are just like, you know what? I'm not going to go find that prop. I'm just going to bet the Broncos to win. So that was anybody who laid any number, obviously, with the Broncos. That was pretty slick. The defense looked good. They harassed Cousins, 3 sacks for 21 yards and an interception. Cousins had no touchdowns. Bo Nix had 4 himself. And this wasn't I need to lean on my running backs a lot, although, Williams had some nice runs. This was Nix finding people like Devon Vele.
Who?
And, he's rookie. Mims a couple times. A lot of Cortland Sutton, which as it should be. But, this is a 7th-round rookie.
Yeah.
Devon Vele found him a bunch of times. This was just an ass beating by the Broncos. This had to feel good, and this is, we talk about all these other teams, Miami, Indianapolis, maybe even the Bengals if they eke one out. This was massive because they're playing defense right now in that 7th seed.
Also, I gotta tell you, man, what a lucky schedule for this Broncos team. Like this was just a brutal spot for the Falcons.
Was not great,
and they leaned into that. Like, it's not our day. Let's lean into that. Like, that's kind of the way it felt. Clowns. Not a serious team, not a serious franchise, but probably will get your 3 seed. All right, let's carry on.
Yeah. That is your 4 seed, right?
3 or 4, I guess. It depends who wins the
I mean,
West and how many wins.
the
I kind of
Cardinals
assume
might be-
the West is going to be a 10-win team, and I feel like the Falcons are probably going to get to 11. Their schedule is such garbage. It's so pudding soft.
Falcons, Vikings, Falcons, Packers. Those are all good games. Even Falcons, Commanders. That's a fun one.
Okay, so you lose all 3 of those. Are they losing any other game?
I don't know. No, I'm just looking at playoff matchups.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and this was the big reason. And I was surprised it didn't see even more steam. I don't know. Maybe did it get to 3? It did not get to 3 anywhere. Atlanta had like 8 guys ruled out, and a lot of them were on defense today.
Yeah.
And it fucking showed.
Yeah.
The Raiders
We talked about that because like my numbers squarely were like, yo, bet Atlanta, and I was looked at the injury report and I was like, yeah, no fucking chance. Like
it was all 3 levels of the defense. They had guys that mattered out, and that definitely showed. Yeah. So keep an eye on
Troy Anderson. Turns out he's the most important Falcon, more important than Kirk Cousins. Oh, you know what else? Here's the other takeaway, guys, and this is pretty obvious.
Wasn't great today.
Kirk Cousins against the pass rush. No. Cousins against a team that can't rush the passer. Bombs away.
And it is a good pass rush. This has been a very good pass rush.
Yeah, and it was on the road.
Seattle 20. Did I miss something at the end? I thought this was 17-13. I didn't watch the Seattle drive. Seattle 20, San Francisco 17. Both teams are 5.
This was the most enjoyable watch of the day, I thought. What did you think?
It was very fun.
It was a really fun game.
Full Geno experience. Geno threw one of the worst interceptions of the day. One of the worst. I don't know who he was throwing to. He was throwing right to a safety on the sideline.
Yeah, full field of jeans. Yeah.
Didn't get a lot out of Kenneth Walker. I mean, 54 yards. It was a lot of Geno.
He got a key touchdown.
Yeah, that was nice. But Geno, those runs on the final drive, including the biggest run probably of his season at least, those are massive.
Yeah.
Just volume to JSN was nice.
I want to ask
20,
you more.
20 points between JSN and DK Metcalf.
Like
game plan.
The key takeaways I think are that Niners could not get to Geno.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the Seahawks defense looked notably more well organized, I thought. What did you think? Holding the Niners to 17, feels like that was the real win, right?
Yeah, especially on the road in a spot like this. Were they off their bye?
Yeah, Seahawks were.
Yeah. So you had time to put the game plan together. They weren't. I mean, the Niners were still 7 for 11 on 3rd down, but it felt like I don't know. There was only the one turnover. They didn't do a turnover and downs. I don't know if it was just ball control. Not really. The Niners led with that too. I guess it was just there was a lot
situational. It was just good situational defense.
Yeah, 2 for 2 in the red zone. They only 4 penalties compared to the 9 for the Niners.
It was just good, clean
getting
football.
It done when it mattered.
Well coached professional football. Felt Chargers-esque, honestly.
4.9 yards per play for both teams. This is another no love lost. These games, like 5 years ago, remember this? We had a stretch of 5 of these games over 2 years because one of them was a playoff game, and they were all just nuts, and they were all down to the last play.
The one that they stopped at the goal line. It was what was it?
Hey, hit him in the back as he's sliding, and he couldn't get in. Yeah.
Or was it? Oh, it was Patrick Willis at the goal line, stopping Marshawn Lynch, like at that 1-inch line. Oh, incredible! There's been some good ones. You're right. This is a good rivalry, but
the
it's
Niners
funny
just
because
didn't have anything deep today.
No, and it also is funny because like the Niners got whatever they wanted on the road on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago against this defense, and then they did not have it today. So I don't think it has to do with, as much to do with the Niners as the Seattle defense needs to be upgraded to maybe where we thought they were going to get to. And, the buys affect good coaching staffs in their young seasons more than they affect the veterans, I think. And I think Mike McDonald and crew used the bye very effectively to polish their D.
Just a 9-year-old just can't handle it when you say polish their D. Oh God, Drew. Chiefs. They turns out they could not keep getting away with it, and so much credit needs to be given to the Bills' offensive game plan and the execution from Josh Allen, because that was different.
No, forget about it. No, I disagree.
You don't think
the Bills
so?
Going for it on 4th and 2. That was the only decision of the game that mattered at all.
I know, but they needed to be in the game and leading at that point, and they were very efficient on offense. Like, I wasn't expecting them to come out and score that many points. I thought this was going to be a lot tighter and lower scoring, truthfully.
Okay. I guess I will give their running offense credit for being more effective against a very good run defense, particularly in the red zone, to get the first 2 touchdowns. But really, like, if Sean McDermott kicks a field goal there,
oh my God,
on 4th and 2 and goes up 5,
they lose the game.
They lose the game, right? But they go for it, and Josh Allen just goes fucking Superman. Like as soon as he started running, I was like, "Oh, this is a touchdown." I didn't even
should have probably gone down. Like
he
the
should
better,
have, yeah.
He should have gone.
The better play is he kneels at the 1. They bleed all, but I think the Chiefs had 2 timeouts left, so they would have only bled it down to 40-ish seconds, right? Because the 2-minute warning also was in play. The Chiefs had the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts, so they would have gotten the ball back with a minute and 10.
It felt like there was a lot of coaches that would have kicked that field goal. And McDermott is one of them. I felt like, I'm like, this is 50-50. He does the right thing here. I really wasn't sure what he was.
Do you know the math better than me, so we can correct people so they know we're not fucking idiots and I'm not, how much time would have been left with the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts?
I mean, it was like
if they kneel.
Oh, so if they get the first, or if they kick the extra point, or are you saying if they kick the field goal?
I'm saying if Josh Allen takes a knee at the 1.
I mean, I would have kneeled as soon as I got the first down, and then had a chance to just run the ball 3 more times, because that takes 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. If you do some outside, just off tackle stuff, suddenly you're running off a little bit.
The first run, you get to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
The second run, timeout. The third run, timeout. There's going to be a shitload of time left.
You could have got it. Yeah, you would have got it down to about 110. But if you get a second first down, then it's over.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If he would have just run for 2 yards and left them with 20 yards of field to play with, I think they were running the ball more effectively enough. They could have got another first down.
Yeah, and then the game's over, and they win by 2. Yeah. That would have been much nicer. Oh shit. Oh well.
Oh well. Right. Yeah, I guess
Chiefs.
I was still just impressed.
What did you think of the Chiefs offense being just a hair off? Like the deep pass to Worthy where he stepped out of bounds was like oh Christ. And there was a couple other plays where we were just like, things aren't quite right. It's
hard to shit on Worthy. He had such a nice day, but that was such a bonehead play.
Yeah. And thoughts on the Chiefs offense
going out early?
This is the Chiefs offense is just kind of a clown show still.
I don't know. Mahomes, like, the interceptions have to stop. He threw. I mean, the last one is what it is, but the other one was just right off the bat. It feels like he's just good for one a game. Did they have a fumble?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, it's just those 2 turnovers. He took a couple sacks in bad spots, and they weren't great on third down. And again, it was still Buffalo's offense getting to good third down. I hate the word manageable third downs because that's so weird. Like it feels like they were always in decent downs and distances, and they always had a good game, or they always had a good play dialed up. Even to score 23, if they hadn't scored the final touchdown, like that's a win against a very, very good defense.
You're right. Okay. Was there any other?
All right. No, we'll take a look at some openers. Reminded you that we are partnered up with Profit X, formerly Profit Exchange, now available.
X gonna give it to you.
It's gonna give it to you. New users. Any new horse players? This one's it's not super confusing promo because it's not a super confusing promo because you guys are smart, but it is. It's basically like a rebate, like horse players get when they play, when they bet horses over and over. Yeah. So you can get up to $300 in profit cash, which is just, promo dollars you can use there. In the next 30 days when you use the promo code BetSpurts.
Whoa.
And that's basically just like put some money into the market. Match with some people, and then win or lose, you get some rebates.
X going to give you $300.
Even lower.
Like
yeah, even lower round, even lower VIG, even lower margins for you. If you like the best prices, this is going to be a very good option for you because not only is it in 40 states, but the liquidity is nice. That's the main thing. Like there are a lot of people using this.
Have you started playing there?
Have not. It's on my list for the week.
Me too.
I'm so hard. I'm so hard to like get to try new things.
Do they take Bitcoin?
I made a Blue Sky though.
You did?
Everybody's doing it. I just wanted to go squat on it. I had to go squat on it because I don't want somebody stealing my name. I got a deep dive one too. I'm like, I'm not. I'm going to sell you your name.
Did you squat on my name?
No, you got to do it now because we're saying that somebody's going to.
Yeah, I got to go do it. Yeah. Although we can refresh after you get back from vacation, but my self-imposed Twitter ban has been good for my mental health. And honestly, like I've just been so fucking busy at work. I needed to not be distracted, and this has been right place, right time. For
I see my. So I was Android for years and years and years, Drew.
Yeah.
The ones I had, I mostly did pixels. They didn't do the screen report. Maybe it was an option, but with the Apple, it just does it. I'm sure there's a way to turn it off, but it's like, I averaged like way too many hours last week. Because of this. I keep it on like this, and it's just always like looking at me, and I have other things up all the time. So it's like 10 hours. How?
You got a nice little stand there.
Oh, I love this.
Do you want to pitch that?
Stainless steel. Look at this. You can do this.
I mean, it's no Profit X, but it looks nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna build one. I think I found some beautiful scrap mahogany. I'm gonna make another one.
Ooh, I like that.
For a tablet. This week's lines. Let's pull up some betting lines for this one.
What's Thursday's
Let's see what
game?
I wagered. I gotta go into my.
Do I even want to know? What's Thursday's game?
Come again?
What's Thursday's game?
Oh, buddy. I have to Week 12. It's Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Christ. In Cleveland.
It's not that bad.
No, I know it's not that bad, but I don't think I can bet this game because my numbers say bet Cleveland and fade Pittsburgh, but I can't do any more of that.
Jameson primetime. Good. All right. This was 45. Excuse me. This was Steelers 4.5. Laying it on the road on a short week. Total was 41 on the look ahead. We are opened at 40.
Oh my God!
Dropped a little bit after Pittsburgh didn't.
Did you say
score.
4? It's 4.5.
4.5, 40. I am closer to a field goal, and I don't feel good about that. So I'm not. I'm going to do some soul searching before we get too much into that.
Fuck, man! I'm going to end up in Cleveland this week again. I can't believe it. I guess if
Vikings,
Denzel Ward is hurt, if Denzel Ward is out of for this game, which he probably
they
is,
could be
maybe
down
that's
two left tackles.
That's enough of a nudge for me just to not be involved.
Vikings Bears was Viking -5. Total was 40. It has reopened Minnesota -3.5 with an even lower total, 39.5. I don't know. Did the Bears do enough today to merit that? The only thing I will say is Minnesota is on a back-to-back-to-back. This is their third. It's not a long drive down to Chicago, guys.
They always play like shit down there, too.
Third straight week, yeah.
How do you
they
like
don't play well down there.
The quality of play for the Vikings in Chicago, out of curiosity, Andy?
Feels different this year, right? It won't be. The Minnesota defense is clearly better than Green Bay's. I think it's the total drop for good reason. Detroit Indy is reopened. Detroit is laying 7. So many road favorites.
Wow.
Laying 7.5 on the road. This was 6.5 on the look ahead. This total is 50.5. That's up a point off the look ahead as well. I guess directionally, what did Detroit do today to make you say you shouldn't give them a little bump? But he played the deadest team in the world. No team had like the
Detroit is just embarrassing.
Quit's hard. It's hard to say quit because players don't quit. You know, they have their careers to think about, but like the coaching and the adjustments, like what's Dougie P doing at halftime? He's on Zillow, man. He's on phone on Zillow. Like, hey guys, go get him. I got to see if I can get this house on the market. This is another one. Maybe this just goes over because Detroit scores 40 points again.
Anyone looking for a nice 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Duval?
Duval. It's got a hot tub and an outdoor hot tub. 2 hot tubs. It's a 3 hot tub day, guys. This over makes sense.
I'll even throw in a Jaguars visor. Throw in 10 Jaguars visors.
Just a box full of visors. Miami.
Yeah.
Miami opened 7.5. They were 7. That total
is gonna be a bad week of football or what? Yeah,
Miami is hosting. I don't know. Miami's defense is kind of hit or miss. This is another total. Maybe I think I like this over.
Okay,
it has gone up to 44.5.
I dig that. Over. That's a low number for these offenses. I agree.
Yeah. Tampa Bay and the New York Giants are both off a bye. Double bye. The Giant, another road favorite, where the Bucks are laying 3.5. This total was 43. It is down to 42 at this point. This was
Drew Lock show.
That's what I wonder. So this was a look ahead spot I grabbed on Friday at 3.
I think it's gonna be Drew Lock.
Yeah. And I had a misprint. I said Tampa Bay +3. That's not accurate.
Nice grab on look at Andy.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be super nice. But basically it was Evans seems like he's coming back. It feels close. And if it's Drew Lock, I like that quite a bit too. So I agree with this move that way. I'll keep moving real quick. Dallas, Washington. Dallas is yet to play this week, so we'll skip that for now. The look ahead is 10 and 45. Dallas will be off Monday night. Yeah. Washington will be off Thursday night. So that
you know what we call that in the biz?
It's the
Widowmaker.
Kansas City, get right spot. They're 11-point favorites going to Carolina. I guess. Carolina's off the bye, Kansas City on a back-to-back. You couldn't pay me to lay that, but there's a lot of spots where they just win by 14 without trying too hard because it is a Carolina defense that is pretty beat to shit.
It sucks bad.
And they suck.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Houston, off the board. Tennessee's still playing, Houston plays tomorrow night. Denver, Las Vegas. Is that up? Yeah, it is. That is Denver -4, total 40.5. That was 3. That's moved Denver's way after a nice performance by them, and Vegas looking not so good. I'm pretty much on market with that. I'm gonna have to look at that total though. I wonder about that. I like the I might like some Raiders team total under in that one. Not a lot to say there. Green Bay is going to be favored.
The Turner fade. I dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another reason I want to watch that one. Green Bay is a 1.5 point favorite hosting the Niners off their loss. Total 47.5. That's ticked down a little, which makes sense. The San Francisco offense looks a little slower and methodical. We'll see how they look in the frozen tundra. Hopefully we get a cold weather game there. That'd be awful fun. Excuse me. And then just real quick,
I just want a good game there because this is the first game of the week that I'm kind of interested in, honestly.
That Denver Las Vegas game, that was another under I played 41.5. I believe that should be 40. It is 40.5 now. So feel a little better. Arizona's going to be coming off the bye and heading to Seattle.
Great game.
1 point underdog. That's a very fun one.
Oh, is that what
that
the
total
is?
Dropped a little? I played that over and it dropped on me. So I'm just keep getting caught my hand in the cookie jar on these NFC West totals, and the Niners haven't gone over since Fido was a pup. So maybe I'm just screwed, blued, and tattooed on that as it is. That's just going to be a really good game.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
I
kind of like
Philly.
Seattle. I like Seattle there. I'm going to probably play that one. I don't think it should be like 3, but I feel like this is the right sell high on Arizona.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe it's not even really selling high if they're 1.5 point dogs, but god damn, that one's tough. That is a tough one. Do we have any reports on how much Call of Duty Kyler Murray was playing on bye? He
hasn't like lost since the whole Call of Duty. The Rams, I believe this is Sunday night, will host the Philadelphia Eagles. It is. They are 3-point road favorites, the Eagles, and this total is 48. That has ticked up a little. Rams offense is certainly looking nice. Philly's run game's looking great. They are off Thursday Night Football, so extra rest and extra time to get out to SoFi Stadium. That's probably a pretty good matchup. That's not a bad primetime game, is it now?
It's not, but I don't have an opinion on the side or total, do you?
I'm always pro Ram. You know how I live. I'd lean a little towards the Rams at the current price, but I'm going to dig in on matchups
just take the money line as opposed to taking the +3, right?
Yeah, if you like the Rams, I think you take them straight up, or you take their team total over.
Oh man, this is exactly the kind of wide receiver group that could really fuck up those young cornerbacks.
And then Monday night will be Baltimore Los Angeles Chargers. 2 straight primetime games in SoFi Stadium.
Two straight what do you call it? Primetime games for the Chargers.
Yeah. Chargers are going to play tonight, and then Monday night next week against Baltimore. A lot of people are going to get their peepers on
the Harbaugh.
Jesse Minter's defense.
I can't believe you buried the lead.
What's that? It's the Brother Bowl.
John,
like it, yeah.
Yeah, John and Jim Harbaugh. We get to hear all the milk stories, the Russian leg wrestling.
Boy, at least it's a week, because with the Super Bowl like 8 years ago,
that was rough.
That was 2 weeks of that shit.
It was rough.
I mean, we even got Tom Crean content. I didn't need any of that. That was a banger of a Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, the lights went out.
The lights went out for a while.
Beyonce
that was like a 5.5 hour.
Yeah.
That shit was good. That was a good one. Hopefully this game's just as good.
It ended with the safety?
Yes. Won me some money.
All right, let's wrap.
Let's call it. That one real quick. Baltimore's a 3-point favorite on the look ahead before the games were played today. That total is 47. Before we go quick, I did want to mention I had a few more injury stuff. The Nick Bosa thing, keep an eye on that. He left the game at times with the hip injury. That matters. Darnell Mooney for Atlanta with the hamstring. He's important. Hassan Reddick left with an ankle injury. I don't know why he wouldn't be in good shape. Josh
Weird.
Oliver, who's maybe not the biggest name, but he matters to the Minnesota offense. They're using him quite a bit. He looked like that was a decent ankle injury. Alex Anzalone, the linebacker for the Linos, broke his arm. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Allen Robinson, third, fourth wide receiver. He has a concussion. He might be out of next game.
He doesn't.
He doesn't probably. The Jags had a bunch of injuries. Doesn't matter. They're going on bye. We'll check that. The Raiders had a bunch of injuries too. That is something. Again, while I'm looking at that, both running backs left at certain points.
Are these
both
business decisions or actual injuries?
I don't know. Like Zamir White and Madison had injuries. And then Ja'Cory Bennett and Jack Jones both had some injuries in the cornerbacks. The Ravens, Roquan was ruled out with a hamstring. Kyle Hamilton exited for a little bit. He should be fine. Like you mentioned, keep an eye on Denzel Ward. That's probably about it. Then Jair matters. So we're going to go watch Sunday Night Football. I'll see you guys at halftime. Wish Drew happy travels. He's got where are you going? Just up north?
Oakland. Flying to Oakland and driving to Central California.
Oakland is beautiful this time of year.
Probably is. It's probably quite nice.
It's cold. Actually, it was nice outside. I got some time outside today. It was beautiful.
Flying to the East Bay, driving to Central California, where it is going to be quite nice, actually. But I have to work my ass off, so that's not lovely.
All right, we'll see you guys. If we missed anything, hit us up on Twitter or Blue Sky. I have like 6 followers over there.
See you on
not
Blue
a big deal.
Sky.
See you guys. Now you're gonna play the music. I just want to go watch football.
Do you have any of your 6 followers porn bots?